Hello guys, in this particular video, we will be discussing about the concept of the topic which is linked list. Linked list is basically a data structure. It is a linear or in some of the cases is linear data structure. Linked list is not just like other data structures like arrays which are inbuilt or basically we can say which are given to us. But linked list can be defined as the collection of objects that are called as nodes. So basically, linked list is a collection of some nodes that are randomly stored in the memory. So it is not a sequential data structure. It is non-sequential data structure. It is just the nodes. Just like say if we talk about arrays, you can say array is a collection of variables of same data type. So in arrays, what we have? In arrays, we have a particular collection of some values of same data type. We can have array of strings, we can have array of integers, we can have array of characters. Here what we have in case of linked list, it is said to be collection of objects called nodes. Basically, we have nodes that are randomly stored in the memory. So the first thing that we have discussed is that linked list is a collection of nodes. That is the first thing that we have learned. Now the second thing is what a node is. A node contains two fields. The first is data is stored at the particular address and the pointer which contains the address to the next node in the memory. So node basically consists of two fields. The first field is obviously if there is a node, it should contain some data. That is the main reason for taking a node. So a node contains data in it. एक नोड के पास अपना खुद का डेटा होता है कि ये नोड 5 है, ये नोड 6 है, मतलब इस नोड में एक इंटीजर है 5, इस नोड में एक इंटीजर है 6. But along with this is it also has a pointer. What is pointer? Pointer means something which is pointing towards another node. एक पॉइंटर होता है हर नोड के पास जो एक अलग नोड को एक नई नोड को पॉइंट कर रहा हो. तो मैंने क्या बोला, लिंक लिस्ट क्या होती है? लिंक लिस्ट is basically collection of nodes, and nodes consist of two parts. First is data, whatever data is stored in it, and second is the next pointer. Next pointer means the next node. एक नोड है, उसके अगली नोड कौन सी होगी, अगली नोड कौन सी होगी, और इसी तरीके हमारी पूरी लिंक लिस्ट बन जाती है. You can see one thing, this is a linked list given. In this particular linked list you can see that this is our head node. This is our head node. This head node contains our data. This head node contains our data. And along with that node, we also have a next point. This is completely a node. ये पूरी एक नोड है और इस नोड का नाम है हेड. ये एक हेड नोड है. ये एक नोड है और इसका नाम है हेड. ठीक है, ये एक हेड नोड है. मैंने क्या बोला है, एक नोड के अंदर दो चीजें होंगी, डेटा एंड एक नेक्स्ट पॉइंटर जो नेक्स्ट नोड पे पॉइंट कर रहा हो. तो ये हमारा एक डेटा है, ये हमारा डेटा है, और ये हमारा नेक्स्ट पॉइंटर है जो नेक्स्ट नोड को पॉइंट आउट कर रहा हो. ठीक है, दिस इज आवर डेटा एंड दिस इज आवर नेक्स्ट पॉइंट. तो अब अगर मैं बोलूँ कि जो हेड नोड है हमारी हेड, उसका डेटा क्या है, तो आप जो भी यहाँ वैल्यू स्टोर होगी वो आप दोगे. लेट्स यहाँ ए स्टोर है, और अगर मैं लिखूंगा हेड डॉट नेक्स्ट, हेड डॉट नेक्स्ट का मतलब है उसकी नेक्स्ट नोड ये वाली बी. तो हर नोड के पास अपना खुद का एक डेटा होता है. एवरी नोड कंटेन्स इट्स ओन डेटा एंड द पॉइंटर विच इज पॉइंटिंग टुवर्ड्स नेक्स्ट नोड. अगर मैं बोलूंगा कि हेड का डेटा क्या है तो आप बोलोगे ए है. हेड में देखो अब ए स्टोर हुआ है. मैं बोलूंगा हेड का नेक्स्ट क्या है तो आप बोलोगे ये वाली नोड है, ये वाली नोड इसके तो उसका नेक्स्ट है. दिस इज हाउ द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ दिस लिंक्ड लिस्ट वर्क्स इन JavaScript. Or basically this is the main concept of linked list. This is the same concept is used in every language, C++, in Java, in different languages, and also in JavaScript. If we have to create a array in, you can say, JavaScript, so we can just write variable arr, or then the array is basically constructed and we don't have to do anything. But to create a linked list, so Before creating a linked list, first of all, we have to learn how to create a node. And using that node, we create a linked list. Because what is linked list? Linked list is a collection of nodes. And what is node? Node is consist of two things, which is data and the next point. The third point is you can see the last node of the first of the list contains pointer to the null. Now, if we have a node, if we have a particular data structure, so उसका कहीं ना कहीं पे end होगा ना कहीं उसका last node होगी, last element होगा. तो मैंने क्या बोला? Every node contains its data. तो जो उसकी last node होगी, उस पर data तो कुछ ना कुछ होगा, जैसे यहाँ पर D है. But what will be its next node? Because उसके बाद में कुछ है ही नहीं. वो उसका last node है उस linked list का. So here what we do in linked list, we make the next pointer of the last node is equal to null. null का मतलब क्या होता है? अब इसके आगे कुछ नहीं. Whenever we reach null, that means कि अब इसके आगे कुछ भी नहीं है. We have this pointer pointing towards null. Okay. Now guys, what basically you can see here that let's give addresses. Let's give addresses to these particular link nodes. So as I told you that just like we have our home. तो हमारा घर होता है, तो हमारे घर का एक एड्रेस होता है. मैंने बोला अगर ये एड्रेस आपके घर का है, अगर मैं लिख दूंगा यहीं पर कि ये एड्रेस पे आपको जाना है, तो बंदा उस एड्रेस पे चला जाएगा. Similarly, we have addresses in this particular program also. Let's say that address of this first node is 201. Address of the second node is 293. Address of this third node is 304. Address of this fourth node is 157. Let's say these are the addresses. So you can see that this is the head pointer. ये head node है हमारी, ये head node है, ठीक है, ये हमारी head node है. If I will ask you that what is the value of this head node, the data of this head node, you will say A. A is the data of this head node. You will normally say A is the data of this head node. If I will ask you what is the next, means where this head node is pointing, so it will not say you B. वो नहीं बोलेगा आपको B की तरफ पॉइंट कर रहा है, वो आपको B का एड्रेस देगा. बिकॉज वो सिर्फ देखो B का मतलब हुआ सिर्फ डेटा. मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ, हमें सिर्फ डेटा नहीं देना है, हमें पूरी नोट देनी है. और नोट में क्या क्या होता है? नोट कंसिस्ट ऑफ डेटा एंड नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, दोनों चीजें होती हैं. तो जो इसका जो नेक्स्ट पॉइंटर होगा, ये बेसिकली हमें इसका एड्रेस देगा. इज 293. It is 293. It will give us the address of it. It is 293. Got it? Similarly, इसका डेटा क्या है? B. इसका नेक्स्ट एड्रेस क्या है? 304. क्योंकि ये जो है नेक्स्ट 304 को पॉइंट आउट कर रही है. इसका नेक्स्ट क्या है? 157. इसका नेक्स्ट क्या है? नल. इसका नेक्स्ट नल है, कुछ भी नहीं है. Got it? This is how this particular approach of linked list works. This is how this particular linked list approach works for our given program. This is how it basically works. Now, as I told you, as we are talking about linked list, so linked list is a collection of nodes, and nodes is consist of data and next pointer. So now let's discuss about how we can create a object of node, a class of node. As I told you that linked list is a collection of objects, but objects can be created with a class. भाई एक class का ही तो object होता है. तो हमें पहले एक node नाम की class बनानी पड़ेगी, और उसका एक object एक node की तरह काम करेगा. Here you can see I have given a syntax how you can create a class, how you can create a class of. You can see there I have taken a class node and a constructor element. So what is this element? What is this element? इसका मतलब क्या है कि हमने एक क्लास क्रिएट की है नोड नाम की, उसमें एक कंस्ट्रक्टर है जो आपको बेसिक दो वेरिएबल्स दे रहा है. द फर्स्ट वेरिएबल इज दिस डॉट एलिमेंट इज इक्वल टू एलिमेंट. मतलब इस नोड का जो एलिमेंट होगा, द एलिमेंट ऑफ दिस नोड, और यू कैन से डेटा ऑफ दिस नोड, आप डेटा भी लिख सकते हो. डेटा, इस नोड का जो डेटा होगा वो एलिमेंट के इक्वल होगा जो भी आप इसमें पास करोगे. और जो नेक्स्ट पॉइंटर होगा इस नोड का वो होगा नल. हमने बेसिकली एक क्लास क्रिएट कर ली जिसका नाम है नोड, जिसमें हमारे पास दो डेटा मेंबर्स हैं, एक है एलिमेंट, एक है नेक्स्ट. ओके, एंड दैट इज व्हाट वी आर डूइंग. नाउ लेट्स सी इफ वी हैव टू क्रिएट अ नोड. If we have to create a node. Okay, so when we have to create a node, what we will do, as I told you, node is basically a object of this particular class. So to call an object, we will use the new keyword. Okay, this is a syntax. तो जब भी हमें एक नई नोड क्रिएट करनी है हम लोग क्या लिखेंगे where लेट्स से उस न्यू नोड का नाम है हेड नोड हेड लेट इज इक्वल टू न्यू नोड और ब्रैकेट में हम लोग वो वैल्यू देंगे जो हम लोग चाहते हैं इस एलिमेंट की लेट्स से हमने दे दिया 5 हमने ये सिंटैक्स लिख दिया नाउ व्हाट दिस सिंटैक्स इज डूइंग फॉर अस इट विल क्रिएट अ ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ दिस क्लास नोड एक ऑब्जेक्ट बना देगा इस क्लास का कैसे बनाएगा देखते हैं लेट्स से ये इसने एक ऑब्जेक्ट बना दिया एंड जैसे मैंने बोला कि in this node we have two things first is the element or we can say data and second thing is next point so we will divide into two parts as like this first will be the data and second will be the next point this is a node this is a node called head you can see we have taken its name as head you can see one thing this is a normal node but here we have given it a value 5 now its data will be equal to 5 its data will now be equal to 5 because we have given it a value also we have given the next value of it to null whenever we will create a new node we will give its value its next value in default null so the next value of it is now null it is pointing towards null this is our new node which we have created where element or you can say data is 5 and next is automatically in default is null only when we want to change it we can certainly change if I will write head dot next is equal to something else this will change this will surely change so this is how we can create a node this is the syntax of creating a node in particular case as I've told you node is a collection of element or you can say data and as I told you node is basically a collection of uh, data and next point that is what we are having that is what we are having here now as I told you that yeah node we have discussed how we can create a node you take a class of name node and we can create an object of it similarly we have a linked list also similarly we have a linked list also. Here you can see this is a linked list class here should be a uh, one more opening closing bracket of this one okay that's not the case so here also you can see that we have created a constructor as I've told you for linked list there will be two basic concepts for linked list the first thing that we have is the start of the linked list or you can say the head of the linked list कि एक लिंक लिस्ट स्टार्ट कहाँ से हो रही है जैसे एरे में क्या होता है एरे में हमारे पास हमें इंडेक्सिंग दी होती है कि फर्स्ट इंडेक्स में कौन सा एलिमेंट है सेकंड इंडेक्स पे कौन सा एलिमेंट है जीरो इंडेक्स पे कौन सा एलिमेंट है लिंक लिस्ट में इंडेक्सिंग इज नॉट देयर इंडेक्सिंग इज नॉट देयर आप ऐसे इंडेक्स के तो नहीं पता लगा सकते हो कि कौन से इंडेक्स पे कौन सा एलिमेंट बट व्हाट इज गिवन इज द स्टार्टिंग नोड वो लिंक लिस्ट स्टार्ट कहाँ से हो रही है लेट्स से आप देख सकते हो यहाँ पे दिया होता है हेड this head means that this linked list is starting from the here it is starting from here okay similarly we will have a head of a particular linked list कि वो start कहाँ से हो रही है in default it is always null and second is the size null means that no nodes are there in linked list in default second is size is also a very important thing of linked list that how many nodes are there in a particular linked list that we also create in a constructor means that is user created you can see we have written this code we can change it by ourselves we can make it head we can make it any other name because this is not inbuilt function this that is what we write okay so this is a linked list class as I told you at first we will have data and next pointer that comprises a node and similarly multiple nodes will comprise a linked list and linked list comprises for a head node means the first node of a linked list जहाँ से शुरुआत हो रही है and the size of it that is what the complete flow of linked list I hope you have learned how we can basically what is a linked list so this is what we have discussed is singly linked list why singly linked list you can see here in this particular linked list in this particular nodes we have data and only one pointer which is the next point so when we only have one pointer in a linked list that is called singly linked list There are multiple pointer linked lists also. You can say double linked list is also there. Double linked list is also there where we have the next pointer and the previous pointer. That we will understand in later videos. For this video, we'll just understand singly linked list. Singly linked list means which only contains one pointer. Means there is a node who has a particular data, let's say 5, and it is pointed towards another node. अभी दूसरी नोड है इसमें डेटा 7 है वो एक अलग नोड को पॉइंट कर रही है लेट्स से अनदर नोड whose data is 8 another let's say null. This is a linked list. For this linked list, its head is the start of it. Its head is the start of the linked list. And its size is 3, you can see here. Okay. This is what we have. This is what a linked list is. You can see that we have learned about the node implementation of the means how we can create how we can implement a node class, how a node class can be implemented. That is also what we have discussed here. We have also discussed how we can implement a linked list class. Okay. And this is what a linked list is. Now let's deep dive more into a linked list, how it works. Okay, and then we will see how we can add a new element in the linked list. As I told you, linked list is of dynamic size. Dynamic size. So we can add an element to a linked list. We can remove an element to a linked list. That can be done in a linked list easily. So later in the video, we'll discuss how we can add an element in the linked list, or we can also we can remove an element in the linked list. Before that, we have to also do one thing. Before that, we have to also do one thing that we will also learn the code. Okay. So as we do this, as you can see, we have discussed how node works. Okay. Okay. How a node can be created, how a node class can be created. That we have already discussed. Okay. But we will also discuss how we are basically compiling this all to create a particular linked list. And then we will discuss how we can add a node to a linked list, how we can remove a node to a linked list. That all we will discuss. Node is of dynamic size. So linked list is of dynamic size. So let's create a linked list. Let's create a linked list. Let's say this is the first node of a linked list whose value is, let's say, 2. And it is pointing towards another node whose value is 5. It is pointing towards another node whose value is 8. This is how a linked list works. And then let's say a null is there. So we always have a head pointer. Always have a head pointer of a linked list. We always have a head pointer of the linked list. As we know that in array, what we, let's say if we have an array of same v size, let's name it ARR. So we can say that yeah, ARR of 0 is 2, ARR of 1 is 5. That is what we can say. But in the case of linked list, this is not there. Because in linked list, we don't have any indexing. We only have a pointer, and through that pointer, we can access the value. Let's say if I have written head.data. Head.data means this value 2. Because our head is pointing towards this node currently. If I have written head.next, so it will point towards here. Okay. So this is what we have done. So fine guys. Now let's talk about how we can iterate through a linked list. This is a very important topic. If this is our head, and we will talk about how we can iterate through a linked list. I will write LL as linked list. Okay. How we can iterate through a linked list. So iterating through a linked list means just like in an array, we iterate through an array. Just like if you have to print the values of this linked list, how we can do that. So let's first understand it, and then we will also discuss the code of it. Okay, like the code implementation, how we can iterate through a linked list. So if I will write, let's say currently we are having this head. So till when we have to go? We have to go till our head will become null. So we will write a while loop. And this while loop I will write that while our head is not equal to null, we have to go on. जब तक हमारा हेड नल ना हो जाए तब तक चलते रहो जब तक हमारा हेड नल ना हो जाए तब तक चलते रहो ठीक. Now what I will do, let's say we have to print this value of this head node. So I will now what do, I will make console.log head.data. So it will just print the data. Then this is the most important line. This is the most important line. बहुत जरूरी है. Then I will make head is equal to head dot next. This is how we iterate. In C in normal case in array, we write some I plus plus and then the iterator moves towards the next index. But here in linked list, we are using this particular line. This is a very important line. Now let's dive in this. So currently our head is here. First, let's check the condition. Yeah, head is not equal to null. So it will print the value of its data. The 2 will be printed. Then what it will do? See here. Head is equal to head dot next. So head will be equal to head dot next. And what is head dot next? Head dot next is basically this node. Don't say that head dot next is 5. Don't say. वो उसका डेटा है उस नोड का. और head dot next क्या है? पूरी नोड जो है वो head dot next है. So now I will be making head is equal to head dot next. Means now head will be equal to, means head will point towards this particular. Then again it will go, check the condition, it is not equal to null. It will print value of 5. Again it will do head is equal to head dot next. Means again head will be go towards the next position, which is head dot next. Again it will check, it is not equal to null. It will print the value, which is 8. Again it will check that if head is, again it will make head is equal to head dot next. Again head will be go to head dot next, means to the next node, which is null. Now you can see we have reached null. This condition is false now. Head is not equal to null. Means head is now equal to null. So we'll stop and you can see all the contents are basically stored here. But guys, just always remember one thing. Always remember one thing. एक बार हम लोग आगे चले गए तो पीछे नहीं आ सकते सिंगल लिंक लिस्ट में. आप देख सकते हो यहाँ पर अभी हमारा हेड पॉइंटर जो है यहाँ पर आ चुका है. अब मैं आपको बोलूँ आप फिर से इस पॉइंटर पे आ जाओ. आप नहीं आ सकते हो. एक बार आप आगे, बिकॉज यू कैन सी जो पॉइंटर्स है, जो रास्ता है, वो सिर्फ एक नोड से आगे की तरफ है. इट इज जस्ट फ्रॉम अ नोड टू द नेक्स्ट नोड, द नेक्स्ट नोड टू नेक्स्ट नोड. वी डोंट हैव एनी पॉइंटर टू द प्रीवियस नोड. हम लोग पीछे नहीं आ सकते हैं. तो आप जब भी आइट्रेट करोगे, whenever you will iterate, so you will not iterate with the head node. Okay, your head node will always be at the start. Always remember guys, your head node will always be at the start. You can take another node, let's say P, let's say current, any name can be there, and you will just iterate that current node. Instead of this head, what I will do, I will write current or whatever it is, whatever data you will take. So that is based on you कि आप क्या नाम लेते हो. Next will be current is equal to current dot, and here it will be current. So we will have another pointer which will be, let's say, current. वो पॉइंटर भी वहीं पे पॉइंट करेगा जहाँ पे हेड कर रहा है. वी कैन राइट की करंट इज इक्वल टू हेड. लिख सकते हैं कि वेरिएबल करंट इज इक्वल टू हेड. तो मतलब क्या होगा कि जहाँ हेड पॉइंट कर रहा है वहीं पे करंट भी पॉइंट करने लगेगा और फिर आप आगे आगे बढ़ते चले जाओ. कब तक करोगे? वाइल करंट विल बी नॉट इक्वल टू. सो करंट पहले यहाँ है, फिर यहाँ है, यहाँ है, यहाँ है. इट विल स्टॉप हियर एंड ऑल द वैल्यू 2, 5 and 8 विल बी. एंड यू कैन सी ऑल्सो वन थिंग कि हमारा हेड जो है, आवर हेड इज स्टिल एट द फर्स्ट पोजिशन ओनली. अभी भी हमारा पहले पोजिशन पे. What is head? Head means the start of the particular case में. तो स्टार्ट कहाँ से हो रहा है? वहीं पे हमारा हेड होना चाहिए हमेशा. हमेशा हेड वहां पर होगा, यहाँ से स्टार्ट हो रहा है. ठीक है. दिस इज हाउ वी कैन बेसिकली print values, or we can say iterate through a linked list. Now we will see this code in a particular code editor also. Okay, we will understand how this iteration works, and then we will discuss some more thing, that how we can add values in a linked list and how we can remove nodes from a linked list. Means how we can add a node to a linked list and we can remove a node from a linked list. And just remember one thing, that currently we are just talking about singly linked list. We are just talking about singly linked list, but not the doubly linked list. This is what we have to do. Now let's solve this problem, which is just based on the concept that we have learned, which is this: how we can iterate through a linked list, or basically how we can print the values of a linked list. You can see here that this linked list is given to you. Okay, you are given with the linked list and you have to print all the elements of that linked list. Let's say this is a linked list which contains a node 1 and the node 2. You have to print its element. How you can do this? You can see here that you are only given with the head pointer, means the head of that given linked list. that what is that head pointer. As I told you, let's say this is a linked list. We will be given as the head pointer. एक linked list की पहचान उसके head pointer से होती है. That where and what is that linked list. We are given the head pointer. This is what we will do. Exactly this is what we will do. जो हमने यहाँ लिखा है, we will exactly copy paste this in our particular. Okay. Let's see that how we have to basically do this thing. Okay. As I've told you that, just a minute. Okay. So as I've told you that we have to basically take a while loop, and using that while loop, we are doing, we are basically implementing it. So what I will do, we will first take a particular, you can say another node. Okay. We will take another node, let's say var, and var current. So a variable current will be equal to head. That we will take. You can see here that we have taken. Okay. Then we will take a while loop. This while loop will be taken, and this while loop will be till current is not equal to null. Till current is not equal to null. So you can see here syntax is also given to you. So it is not equal to null. We will just go on. Okay. Then what we have done? First of all, we have to output whatever is the head node. We will just output it. So we will do console.log our current.data. This is the first thing. And second thing, the most important thing, how we can iterate, it will be current is equal to current.next. We will do current is equal to current.next. And that is what we are going to do. And then it will basically print all the complete linked list. This is the code that we write for printing a linked list. Okay, so it's fine. Now let's talk about how we can insert in a linked list, how we can insert a code in a linked list. This is a very important topic. So basically we learn. So here we are learning about how we can insert insert a node in a linked list. We will also learn about how we can delete a node in a linked list. How we can delete a node in a linked list. We will also learn about that. Okay. So the first thing is that how we can insert a node in linked list. There are three positions where we can insert a node. So we will understand. Let's say this is a node. Let's say a node is like this. Let me just create it. Like this. This is the first node. Okay, let's say this is the first node A. This second node is B, or let's name it as a numeric. Okay, let's name कि पहली node हमारी है 1, then we have 5, then we have 4. This is how nodes are given. Then we have null. So either the point can वो बोल सकता है आप एक नई node add करो. Let's say a new node 7 is there. Add it to the installed. Maybe it can say कि एक नई node 7 आप add करो at the last. Maybe it can say एक नई node 7 add करो in the middle, or basically at a particular index. These are three cases how we can insert a node in a linked list. We will discuss all the three cases in this particular case. Okay, you can see one thing. The first is insert add node at the front. So for adding a node at the front, we have a 4-step process. We have 4 steps that we have to perform to add a node in the front. So first of all, what we will do? Let's do it here also. Okay, so let's create our linked list. Okay, so let's create a linked list like this: a node 1, then a node 5, then a node 6, let's say then a node 8 is there, and then a null is there. Let's say this saying that add a node 7, this is a node 7, add a node of value 7 at the start. So this is our head. As I told you, we are always given the head of a linked list. Let's say this is our head, and before that head we have to insert this node 7 like this. How we can insert it? So let's see how we can insert it. First of all, what we will do, the first step is that create a new node. Create a new node. This is the first step that we are going to do. Right? Create a new node. So what we will do, that we will create a new node and we will allocate the data. So पहला step है allocate करो new node को, and second step is put in the data. दो step यहाँ पर आ गए. पहला step क्या थे कि we have to create a new node. So let's say that we have created a new node. This is a new node that is created. उसका next point हमेशा null होता है. As I have told you, when we create a new node, its next pointer will always be null. And this is the syntax which I have already discussed. यार अगर आपको एक new node create करनी है तो you have to write where new node का नाम is equal to new node and in bracket you have to give the value. ये मैं पहले बता चुका हूँ, ठीक है? Inside the bracket, let's say if I'm telling you that add a node of value 7, so I will add a 7. Okay? This is a new node. This is a new node. Okay. Now understand, guys, how we can add this new node here. So the first step that we'll do is we will make the next of this new node equal to head. You can see here. That is the third step. New node dot next is equal to head. You can see one thing that currently new node next is pointing towards null. Currently it is pointing towards null. And what we want that it should point towards head. What it will do, it will take from here and now it will point towards head. It will point towards head. और ये तो हम चाहते थे, we want कि एक नोड उसके पीछे जुड़ जाए, हमारी लिंक लिस्ट के पीछे एक और नई नोड जुड़ जाए, इंसर्ट हो जाए, और देखो यहाँ पे ऐड हो गई. But there is one more phenomenon. I've told you head should be at the first node. हमारा जो हेड पॉइंटर है वो इज अ फर्स्ट नोड होना चाहिए. So for this linked list, अब एक नई लिंक लिस्ट बनी हमारी, यहाँ शुरू होती है, यहाँ तक जा रही है. For this new linked list, what is our first node? This is our first node. But head pointer is pointing towards the second node basically. So we will make our head pointer to point towards here. And that is done by this fourth step, which is we are making head is equal to new node. मतलब अभी तक हमारा head यहाँ पे पॉइंट कर रहा था, अब वो इस न्यू नोड में पॉइंट करेगा. और इस तरीके से हम लोग एक नई नोड हमने ऐड कर ली अपनी लिंक लिस्ट के पहले. We have added a new node. Okay, this is how we are doing it. Now let's see how we can continue to. So ये हमने देख लिया कि how we can insert a new node at the front of a linked list, at the beginning of the linked list. You can see this was our linked list, this was our head. What we have done, हमने यहाँ पे एक नई नोड बनाई, उसको हमने next point किया यहाँ पर, और head हमारा यहाँ पर आ गया. That is what we have done. It is a 4-step process. You can see it is a 4-step process that we have discussed. Okay, I hope this thing is now clear to you. Okay, so this was the code, just again making it clean so that you all can read it. All the steps are given in this code. Okay, you can take the screenshot of it, no worries. Okay, now the next thing is node. Add a node after a given node. You have to add a new node after a given node. Okay, so let's say कि आपको एक लिंक लिस्ट दे रखी है 1 3 6 8 then null. This is the linked list which is given to you. Let's say I'm saying you that यहाँ पर आपको एक नोड दे रखे, let's say current node, आपको नई नोड दे रखी current node, या फिर यहाँ पे हमने उसको previous node दिया है, let's say this is previous node, हमने इसको नाम दिया हुआ है previous node. This is a previous node. We have to add a new node after it. हमें इसके बाद में एक नई नोड ऐड करनी. We have to add a new node after this previous node. Okay, so when we have to add a new node after this previous node, what we have to do is, first of all, the first step will be same. It is a 5-step process. The first step will be same, that first create a new node. अच्छा, एक तो बेस केस हो जाएगा. बेस केस विल बी कि लेट्स से कि हमारी जो प्रीवियस नोड हो ना लो, कि कुछ हो ही ना वहां पर, तो हम लोग सिंपली बोल देंगे कि द गिवन नोड कैन नॉट बी नल. वो अलग है. यहाँ पर आते हैं. First case will be create a new node with the given data. So let's say we have to insert a new node 7 in between this. So we will create a new node with data 7. And as I told you, whenever we create a new node, its next is always pointing towards null. This is our new node. हमने एक नई नोड यहाँ पे क्रिएट कर लिया. ठीक है, अब देखो हम क्या चाहते हैं. हम चाहते हैं कि इस 3 के बाद में हमारी ये नोड आ जाए और इसके बाद में हमारा ये आ जाए, ताकि ये दोनों नोड के बीच में वो 7 वाले एडजस्ट हो जाए. इंसर्ट करना है. We have to insert this node, new node 7 in between this 3 and 6, means after this 3. So let's see what we are doing now. Okay, so the first thing that we will do, this is our previous node and this is a new node. What I will do, I will make new node dot next is equal to previous node dot next. I will make the new node dot next is equal to previous node dot next. अच्छा बताओ, just tell me for this case, what is our previous node dot next? So our previous node is this 3 and its next is 6. Currently its next is 6. And I'm saying that make the new nodes next to 6. So अब हमारा जो new node का next होगा ये, this will basically now point towards, this is the first condition. This is the first condition. Okay. Now the second case, the second step. We make our previous node next is equal to new. This is the another thing. हमारा हेड तो यहीं पर होगा, कहीं ना कहीं होगा हमारा हेड, स्टार्टिंग में होगा जहाँ भी हमें स्टार्ट हो रही है. अब हम लोग क्या बोले, मेक आर प्रीवियस नोड डॉट नेक्स्ट इज इक्वल टू न्यू. I will make the this is the previous node, its next should be to the new. Now this will be, अभी तक उसका next था 6 पे, now its next will be under 7. And this is how you can see we have added, this is how you can see we have added a new node between this 3 and 6, means after this previous node. What we will have, you can see insert in the insert option after problem, we will have a previous node. Previous node means we have to insert a new node after this node, and that node data should be given. So first of all, we will create a new node. We will create a new node. After that, we will make next of the new node equal to next node of the previous node. Next of the previous node. And then we will make the previous node next is equal to new. And in this way, you have inserted a new node between two given. That is what is given. That is what is given here. We have just inserted a new node between the given node. Okay. This is the thing. The next step is quite more advanced, which is add a node at the end of the linked list. This is a 6-step process. Okay. So we have to add a node at the end of the linked list. So हमें linked list के end पे जाके एक नई node add करनी. Let's say that our linked list is 1, 3, 4, 7, 9, and then let's say this is our new node. Let's say this is our new node. Okay, this is our new node. For this particular new node, what we will do is, for this particular new node, what we will do is, we have to add a new node. Let's say new node value is 8. We have to add a new node 8 in the end of it. कि इस 9 के बाद में एक 8 आ जाए. ठीक है? So see what we can do, what we will do. See this thing. So what we will do, currently we will have a head pointer at the start. Have a head pointer at the start. The first thing we'll do, if we have to add a new node after the last node, this is the last node. So first of all, we have to reach the last node. अभी हमारे पास head दिया हुआ, we are given the head. The first main thing is to reach the last node. ये head से लेके last node तक कैसे जाएंगे? So for that there is a concept, we use the while loop. And we run the while loop. Let's take a current pointer here. As I told you, whenever we will iterate, we will take a current pointer. We don't use the head pointer. Current dot next is not equal to null. Till then we will make current equal to current dot next. What I have written? What I have written? I have written while our current dot next is not equal to null. जब तक हमारा current का next null ना हो जाए, तब तक आगे बढ़ते जाओ. You can see our current is here. It will go here. It will go here, here, here. At this last node, you can see current next is null. Current next क्या है? For if current is at the last node, if current is at the last node, so its next will be null. Its next will be null. So at this place it will stop. So using this while loop, we can reach the last node. You can see here also. सबसे पहले हमने क्या किया? First of all, we have created a new node. First of all, we have created a new node that we have to insert. देन वी हैव चेक्ड कि अगर हमारा हेड नल है, मान लो हमारे हेड में कुछ होता ही ना, वी आर जस्ट नल, हमारी लिंक लिस्ट खाली पड़ी हुई है, तो हम लोग नॉर्मली जो नई नोड बना रहे हैं वही हमारी लिंक लिस्ट हो जाती है. दैट इज अ कॉर्नर केस. बट if that is not the case, so first of all what I will do, I will create a new node. So new node next is always null, but it is making it null forever, but its next is always null. We are taking a last pointer, last will be equal to head, and we are making last up to last dot next is not equal to null. You can see this. This is exactly what I have written. This is exactly what I have written. I have taken a current pointer, they have taken last pointer. ये जो मैंने लिखा हुआ है, exactly what it is written here. Okay. And whenever we will reach the last node, let's say we have reached this last node, it's the last pointer, and we have reached this particular last node. We have reached this particular last node. After reaching this particular last node, what we will do? We will simply make last dot next is equal to new node. This was our new node. This is our new node. I am making last dot next is equal to new node. तो इस लास्ट का जो नेक्स्ट है वो न्यू नोड पे आ जाएगा और ये यहाँ से हट जाएगा नल. And this is how we are adding a new node at the end of the link. You can see here also, this was our linked list, and we have added a new node at the last. Similarly, here it was in between, we have added it in between. So here we have also learned one thing, how we can iterate to the last node. Another concept is learned here, which is how we can iterate to last node of a linked list. How we can iterate to last node? Using this particular loop. Till last dot next is not equal to null, we can iterate to the last node. This is how we can solve this particular approach. So in this video, the first concept which we have learned was how to print the linked list. Similarly, we can also learn how we can reach the last node. As I've told you, to reach the last node, let me write the code for it. You can see here. Let me just write the code for it. How we can reach the last node. So I will use a while loop. So first of all, I will take our last, which will be equal to head. I will make last dot next is not equal to null. So till last dot next is not equal to null, I will just make last is equal to last dot next. And in this way we have reached the last node. इस तरीके से हम लोग लास्ट नोड तक पहुंच जाएंगे. You can see this is the last node. अब जो ये last होगा, that will be in the last node, the end of the linked list. Now this last is at the end of the linked list. This is how we can basically do. This is how we can iterate. This is how we can reach the last node. Okay. And so here let's recap what we have learned. Okay. It was how we can insert a linked list, insert node in linked list. We have learned about how we can insert at the front. There was 4-step process. That first create a new node, then make new node next is equal to the head, then make head is equal to new node. The second was add a node after a given node. For that, what we will do? We will given with the previous node. Previous node means this node के आगे हमें add करनी है. Okay. Then what we will do? We have to create a new node and make new node next is equal to previous node. This is very important. New node next is equal to previous node, or फिर previous node next is equal to new node. These are the two very important steps. In this add node at the end, we have also learned about a new thing, how we can iterate to the end. How we can iterate to the end of the linked list, and then we can easily add a new node after changing the last node, the next point of the last node. You can see one thing that यहाँ पर हमारे पास सिर्फ एक चीज नहीं है. In arrays what we have, array में क्या होता था? हमारे पास एक डेटा होता था और एक आइट्रेटर होता था. आइट्रेटर मूव करता था, डेटा में मिलता रहता था. यहाँ पर हमें वो नहीं है, हमारे पास दो चीजें. डेटा तो है ही है, डेटा इज देयर बिकॉज इट इज अ डेटा स्ट्रक्चर, बट अ पॉइंटर इज देयर विच इज पॉइंटिंग टुवर्ड्स द नेक्स्ट. एरेज में क्या होता था कि अगर एक वैल्यू आई इंडेक्स पे है तो नेक्स्ट वैल्यू आई प्लस 1 पे होती थी. बट इन दिस लिंक्ड लिस्ट इट इज नॉट द केस, बिकॉज as you can see, I have explained in the start also that in linked list, collection of objects which are randomly stored. So in linked list, objects are randomly stored. It is not just sequential. कहीं भी हो सकता है. You can see here, One is in 21, 293, 304, 157. So we give in address of the next node to the current node only. कि next node का क्या address होगा वो एक नोड को हम लोग दे देते हैं. एक नोड को सिर्फ दो चीजें बताओ होती हैं, एक उसका डेटा क्या है, उसका खुद का डेटा क्या है, और उसका नेक्स्ट पॉइंटर नेक्स्ट नोड कौन सी, ये हम लोग एक नोड को देते हैं. ठीक है. तो हमने अभी तक क्या क्या पढ़ा है. सो टिल नाउ वी हैव लर्नड अबाउट what is linked list. We have learned about linked list, or basically we are learning about currently you can say singly linked list. We are learning about singly linked list. After the single linked list, we have learned about how we can iterate, or how we can find the last node also, that we have also learned about. The fourth, we have learned about how we can insert, and all three cases: insert at the front, insert at the middle, or basically at the position, and insert at the end. And the fifth thing, and the last thing for this particular video, it will be is how we can delete a node from a linked list. Deletion can also be the same. How we can delete the first node, how we can delete the last node, how we can delete the previous node, and means middle node. That all we will discuss. Okay, let's move towards the deletion. To learn about deletion. Okay. Now let's talk about how we can delete a node in a linked list. How we can delete a node in a linked list. So the first case of deleting a node is delete from front, means delete the first node of the linked list. Let's take that this is the linked list given to us and this is the head node. We have to remove it. We have to remove this particular head node. Let me tell you that for removing the head node, we only have a single line to write, which is head is equal to head dot. Yes, exactly. अगर हम लोग, if we will make head is equal to head dot next, now head will be here. As I told you that in singly linked list, head or any pointer cannot move backward. अब ये head pointer कभी भी पीछे नहीं जा सकता है. Now this head pointer cannot go back. Never it can go back. So that means, and what our head pointer is denoting? Head pointer denotes that from where our linked list is starting. So if our head is now at 2, that means our linked list is starting from 2 and will go on. Means this particular is deleted. Now you will say, sir, but one is present there. It is not. So yeah, it is basically not deleted from memory. It is basically discarded from this linked list. That is what we have to do. We have to discard this one from the linked list that we have done. To basically to delete a linked list from the front, we have to just do head is equal to head dot next. That is the only thing that we have to perform. That is the only thing that we have to perform. Now, the next case is how we can delete. So let me again add this to add a one. Okay. Now let's say we have to delete a node after a previous node. So let's say just like we have taken a previous node example to insert a node. Let's say this is a previous node. We are again with a previous node. And we want to delete the node just after this node. We want to delete this 3. We want to delete this 3. Means what we want, that after this 2, 4 should be there. That is what we want. We want to delete this node 3. For deleting this node 3, what we will do? What we will do to delete this node 3? Let's see this thing. So we are currently at 2. Okay. So if I will make this, understand one thing. If I will write here previous dot next. So previous is pointing towards 2. So where does previous dot next will point towards? If I will just name it previous, not previous node, okay? Let's name it previous for simplicity. If I will write previous dot next, so previous dot next means this node 3. But that is what we have to delete. This is what we have to delete. हमें delete करनी है ना, the next node of previous. Now let's say we have to delete this node. So what I will do, I will make previous dot next dot next. So previous dot next was 3 and previous dot next is 4. It is 4. Because it is 4, that is what we want. So if I will write previous dot next, it will basically point towards the second node after previous. This is the first node, this is the second node. That we have understood. Now if I will write previous dot next is equal to previous dot next dot, if I will write this thing, if I will write this thing, you can see one thing here. I am making our previous next is equal to previous dot next dot next. And basically, as I told you, what previous dot next is, it is basically nothing but our node 4. So what we are doing, we are making the next of this previous. Currently, it was pointing towards 3. Now I am making the next of our previous to point towards this 4. And in this way, you can see that we have deleted this node 3. Again, you will say, sir, 3 is already present here. वो delete तो हुआ नहीं है. Okay, it's fine. Delete नहीं किया है, but हमने उसको इस लिंक लिस्ट के चैन से तोड़ दिया है. एक चैन होती है लिंक लिस्ट में, हमने उसको इस चैन से हटा दिया है. You can see here. If I will start, so this is the head pointer obviously. If I will start from this head pointer, it will go to 2, and from 2 it will go to 4, and then to null. ये 3 बीच से हट गया. अब इस 3 में वापस नहीं आ सकते. 3 में आने का कोई भी रास्ता नहीं है. ठीक है, 3 से 4 में जा सकते हैं, बट 3 में आने का तो कोई रास्ता नहीं है. विल स्टार्ट फ्रॉम हेड, देन 2, देन 4. वो नोड जो हमारी डिलीट होगी. ओके, दैट इज व्हाट वी डू. हमने देखा कि अगर हमें एक प्रीवियस नोड दे रखी है, हमें उसकी नेक्स्ट नोड कैसे डिलीट करनी है. दैट वी हैव अंडरस्टूड हियर. ओके, वो भी देखो एक लाइन का था, सीधे सीधे एक लाइन का था हमारा. previous dot next is equal to previous dot next. That is what we have to do. That is exactly what we have to do, and we are doing in particular case. Okay. So now the last thing. Let's say this is the head, and let's say the last is how we can delete the last node, this particular node. The first thing is that to delete the last node, we have to first reach the last second node. And guys, we have discussed how we can reach the last node. Let me again write it. I will write here while, let's take here a variable current, that will be initially equal to head. And if I will write while current dot next is not equal to null, and then if I will do current is equal to current dot next, it means कि this current will reach the last node. ये current last node तक चला जाएगा. Because when it will reach here, उसका जो next है वो null है, तो रुक जाएगा वो. But makes a quite change. Let's make a change. Let's write here current dot next dot next. Let's write here current dot next dot next. So when I am doing current dot next dot next, so when current will reach at the last second node, so its next dot next will be basically the null. So यहाँ पर आके रुक जाएगा. It will stop when it will reach the last second. And after our current pointer will reach the last second node, I will just write current dot next is equal to null. Currently current dot next was 4. Now it will be removed from here. Now it will be null. And you can see that now it is discarded from our linked list. This is our linked list. This is 4 is discarded from it. This is how we can delete the last node of our linked list. This is how we can delete the last given node of our linked list. Okay, got it? This is the case. So we have learned first how we can remove the front node. For front node, it will be just like that. We will make head is equal to head dot next. That is the only thing. How we can delete the node after previous node? Let's say after previous node means the next node of our previous node. So we have to just do previous dot next is equal to previous dot next that we've already discussed. And third thing is how we can delete the last node. First of all, we have to reach the last second node. How we can reach that? I've already discussed. You can use this particular while loop. Let's say last second node is current. Then I will have to simply write current dot next is equal to null. And we have deleted the last node. We have discussed all the 3 approaches how we can delete a node. Okay, to delete the front node, to delete the just node which is after the previous node. Okay, क्या हमें एक previous node दे रखी है, उसके बाद वाली node delete करनी है. and then the last node. The similar thing we have discussed in the insertion also, कि हम लोग एक पहले इंडेक्स पे कैसे फ्रंट पे कैसे नोड इंसर्ट कर सकते हैं, एक प्रीवियस नोड के बाद में कैसे कर सकते हैं, मींस आफ्टर अ गिवन नोड हम लोग कैसे इंसर्ट कर सकते हैं, एंड एट द एंड ऑफ द नोड हम लोग कैसे इंसर्ट कर सकते हैं, ये सब वहां दिया हुआ था, ठीक है। एंड हियर व्हाट वी हैव इज कि हमें डिलीट करना है, हम लोग फ्रंट नोड कैसे डिलीट कर सकते हैं, विच इज द फर्स्ट नोड, how we can delete the node which is after previous or basically after a given node, and how we can delete the last node. This all also we have discussed. Okay, so this was all about linked list. So link, as I told you, linked list is a linear data is a data structure which is contained defined as collection of objects. This is this linked list. Let me give you a brief again at last. Okay, that linked list is basically a collection of objects called nodes. We have discussed how we can create a node class and its object, how we can create a linked list class. Okay. Node contains two fields, that is data is stored at a particular address and pointer which contains the address of the node. So basically आपको node पे क्या दिया होता है, उसका data और उसका next point, and the last node will be always null. So the next pointer on last node is always null. That is what is given to you. Okay, this complete thing is basically given to you for a particular node, and that is what you have to do. So I hope that now the concept of linked list is clear to everyone. Thank you.